Hey everyone. I'm lucky enough to be an agent at an agency that has been around for a long time. I think 24 years at this point. My mother, Christy Tugeau, has been an industry leader and just the best muse and teacher that I could have ever asked for. So a lot of the stuff that you're going to be hearing from me comes from her originally, because she just is the wisest person in the industry. And she has allowed me to carry the torch and speak for both of us, which is brave on her part.
Chris has been a teacher to all of us for years. She was one of the first agent who had a blog for Illustrators. Most of us have been following her. She's taught the whole community of illustrators out there.
She's very giving with her knowledge, and that's one of the things that she's most proud of, is that she tries to get back to everyone who submits. And I like to say that I try, but it's hard to keep up. And she's just always been so good at that. So I'm hoping to pay it forward as well. For my assignment, I would like to see mock covers, and I thought it would be a good idea to showcase what the abilities are as far as doing covers of chapter books and middle grade books for children. It's not only a good exercise for somebody who wants to get into that type of genre, but it's a good exercise for other illustrators who find themselves kind of pigeonholed maybe in a younger, board booky type genre. They find themselves with like a very young look to their artwork, and it's an opportunity to think outside the box. And I have some examples actually of somebody who had only done board books, and it wasn't until they did a mock cover for a middle grade book that they got one, that they were hired for a cover. So you just never know, and it's worth it to try, even if it's not necessarily a genre that you want to, but that you think you are suited for. So that is my prompt, and I have some examples. One of our illustrators, Irene Chan, who does the Baby Love Science books, those board books with Charles Bridge, and she has a very, very young style. And when we did a postcard mailing that I had prompted everybody, I'd given them the theme of doing a mock cover. And she said, "Oh, I can't do this. This is for middle grade." And I said, "You absolutely can." So this is what she came up with here. I don't know if Line Witch in the Wardrobe, and did a little mock cover for it. And then she did black and white interiors on the back for children. And this resulted in Littler Women. It was published by Simon & Schuster in the summer, I believe. Actually, no, in the fall. It came out in September.
The same design. It
is. Like, they saw this. This came in the mail, and they said, "Holy crow, that's exactly what we're looking for." So this is not, she's done 0 to 3 her entire career, and this is for middle grade. This also included just a couple of spot illustrations on the inside. So that's a really good example of how this really works, and that's the kind of jobs that you could get from doing these types of samples, even if you think it's crazy. You could do something like that, something very graphic, and very design oriented. I mean, obviously hers is very designy, or you could do something like fantasy, which this one was from Katie Betts, same thing. She did a mock cover. And you don't necessarily have to do hand lettering. That was something that you and I had discussed. It's a great opportunity to showcase hand lettering as Irene did, but you don't have to. And this type of fantasy
and cover image alone.
Right, yes, yeah, just an image alone is totally fine. Or if you have amazing hand lettering that you want to show off, do so. If not, don't, and that's fine. But this genre is really popular as well. It's like anything fantasy or adventure or sci-fi. I hear a lot that publishers are looking for that. So this would be something that would interest me if I were to get this as a sample in the mail from anybody. I would be all over that, because that's something that I hear a lot. And this is middle grade. I mean, the kids on the cover are kind of, 12, 13, very adventurous. And then, if you have a more comic booky style, that's another thing to show. This one was from Kelly Kennedy. I don't know if you can see it. Kelly Kennedy did this one. It's a takeoff of Abbey Road, which was really cute. This is his mock cover, and he has a more cartoony style and did, this would be the cover to a graphic novel.
For kids that are younger, maybe fourth, fifth.
Right. Yes. Yeah, exactly. I mean, then that was the interior.
And there's the interior on the back.
He was thinking of. You don't have to go that far to do the interiors, but something like this would be really cute. And anything that has, I loved this because, and a lot of our clients love this because it's a takeoff of something that adults appreciate. So an adult would want to buy this.
Was that a book he was shopping?
He wants to write this. I mean, obviously he came up with some panels on the other side and a little bit of a story just for this postcard, but this was just mock that he came up with. And that brings me to another point for this prompt, is that feel free to use something that already exists, like Irene used The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe to give herself an idea of what it was that she wanted to create, or at least a story with existing characters, and she found that easier to wrap her mind around. And then there are other people like this, for instance, this one is one that Melissa Ewers did. She just came up with these characters, came up with a title, and this doesn't exist, but she had kind of an idea of a storyline in her head, and she just went from there. So either choose something that you already know exists, or come up with your own. Or if you want to try to take on, like Priscilla Burris, I would do. So she does the Heidi Heckelbeck series, which is now I think she's working on the 25th series. And if you wanted to create your own Heidi, if you've read the books and you want to reimagine these characters and reimagine a cover for them, then go for that too, because why not?
Why not? Get started on your project.
Yeah.
This is a prompt you have given your own illustrators in your stable that you represent.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have an example to show, just so that you get an idea of how this could really work, which is why we look for people who can take on covers and who can create characters, because it does actually work. And I want to show you when we took on Cindy Yan, Little Simon had showed interest in her work and said, well, she needs to do an audition for a chapter book, because we don't see anything in her, her portfolio wasn't robust enough to really give them an idea that she could definitely do it. They were pretty sure she could, but so they gave her just a couple of quick prompts about, some character descriptions, age, race, interests. And they asked her to come up with characters. So she did character sketches and then a mock cover. This is what she created for the audition. It was between her and a couple of other people. They had given her a description of 4. This is a story about 4 children. They gave her a description of all 4 of them and told her to pick 1 or 2 or whatever and come up with a cover. And this is what she did. Obviously, this little girl is interested in dressmaking. And so that's what she did there. She won the job. And I'll show you the final cover. So
there she is with another character.
Much alike. Yes, exactly. Yeah, okay. They asked her to incorporate, but they basically they loved what she had done with the font and the hand lettering, and they loved what she did with the background, how she did that kind of that blue wash in the back with just a couple of details so that you could tell where she was, but it wasn't overtaking the scene. And then the character is pretty much the same.
Is it safe to say, Christy, that covers help sell books?
Yes, you can absolutely, but judge a book by its. Yeah, I mean, so the more creative you get with the cover, the better. And it doesn't necessarily have to be, anything crazy. I mean, like for instance, this one is one that Sherry Malone did for Viking, and it's just Alfie on the cover with her little cat. I mean, it's not,
just
it's
a character and a design.
Right. And it's just, but it tells a lot about her. I think it's just most important that you get a good idea of who the characters are. It doesn't have to be a crazy amount of detail or give too much of a storyline. It's just basically setting up the character, but it does sell a book.
March 22nd, that's when we're having our class with Christy. So you have to get right on this assignment, but you can see how it leads to possible projects. So
yeah, absolutely. It definitely could lead to an agent, that's for sure.
Oh, that's so exciting. We're thrilled and we look forward to it. Thanks so much, Christy, and we will see you on the 22nd.
All right. Thank you. Good luck, everyone.